The power of honesty, a light in a complex world. Honesty. It's a simple word, isn't it? Just 7 letters, but they carry a weight that can shape lives, build bridges, and mend broken hearts. It's a word that evokes trust, vulnerability, and courage. In a world that sometimes feels tangled in half-truths, white lies, and carefully curated facades, honesty stands like a beacon, a lighthouse, guiding us through stormy seas. Today, I want to talk about why honesty matters, how it transforms us, and why choosing to live truthfully is one of the bravest and most beautiful decisions we can make. So, settle in, and let's explore the power of honesty together. When I was a child, my grandmother used to tell me stories before bed. She'd sit on the edge of my mattress, her hands folded gently in her lap, her voice soft but steady. One story stuck with me more than the others. It was about a boy who found a shiny gold coin in the marketplace. He could have kept it, no one saw him pick it up, but instead, he spent the whole day searching for its owner, a weary old merchant who'd lost it by mistake. When the boy returned the coin, the merchant's eyes filled with tears, not just for the money, but for the boy's heart. My grandmother would always end the story with the same words. "Truth is a treasure, dear. It's worth more than gold because it makes you rich in ways no one can steal." That story planted a seed in me. As a child, I didn't fully grasp what she meant, but as I grew older, I began to see it. Honesty isn't just about telling the truth when someone asks you a question. It's about living in alignment with who you are, what you believe, and the values you hold dear. It's about showing up in the world as your authentic self, even when it's hard, even when it hurts, even when the easier path is to hide or bend the truth. Let's be real for a moment. Honesty isn't always easy. There are moments when a lie feels like the softer option, the one that saves you from conflict or embarrassment. Maybe it's telling a friend their new haircut looks great when it, well, doesn't. Or maybe it's hiding a mistake at work because you're afraid of the consequences. We've all been there, haven't we? Those moments when the truth feels like a heavy stone in your chest, and a lie seems like the key to unlocking an easier day. But here's the thing. Lies, even the small ones, have a way of piling up. They create cracks in our relationships, our self-respect, and our peace of mind. They might feel like a shortcut, but they're a detour that leads us further from who we want to be. I remember a time in my own life when I faced this choice. I was in my early 20s, fresh out of college, and working my first real job. I made a mistake, a big one. I sent an email to the wrong client with sensitive information. My heart sank when I realized what I'd done. My first instinct was to cover it up, to delete the evidence and pretend it never happened. No one had noticed yet, and maybe no one would. But as I sat there staring at my computer screen, my grandmother's words echoed in my head. Truth is a treasure. I knew I had to own up to it, so with my stomach in knots, I walked into my boss's office and told her everything. I braced myself for the worst. Maybe I'd be fired. Maybe I'd be humiliated. But you know what? My boss thanked me. She said, "Mistakes happen. What matters is that you were honest about it. Now we can fix it together." That moment taught me something profound. Honesty doesn't just free you from guilt. It opens the door to growth, connection, and solutions. This experience made me realize that honesty is more than just a moral choice. It's a gift. It's a gift to yourself, because living truthfully means living without the weight of secrets or pretense. It's a gift to others because it builds trust, the foundation of every meaningful relationship. Think about the people you feel closest to in your life. Why do you trust them? Chances are it's because they're honest with you, not just in their words, but in their actions, their intentions, their willingness to show up as they are. Honesty creates a safe space where love, friendship, and understanding can flourish. But let's talk about the other side of the coin. Honesty can be hard because it makes us vulnerable. When you tell the truth, you're putting yourself out there. You're saying, "This is who I am, flaws and all." That's scary, isn't it? We live in a world that often rewards perfection, or at least the appearance of it. Social media feeds are filled with curated lives, polished smiles, and stories that only show the highlight reel. It's easy to feel like you have to keep up, to hide your struggles or stretch the truth to fit in. But when we do that, we lose something precious. We lose the chance to be seen, really seen, for who we are. I once heard a quote that stuck with me. "The truth will set you free, but first it might make you uncomfortable." That discomfort is real. Being honest means taking risks. It means admitting when you're wrong, owning up to your mistakes, or telling someone how you really feel, even if you're afraid they won't like the answer. But that discomfort is where growth happens. It's where we find the courage to be our true selves, and it's where we invite others to do the same. Let me share another story, this one from a friend of mine named Sarah. Sarah was in a relationship for years with someone she loved deeply, but something wasn't right. She felt like she was always walking on eggshells, hiding parts of herself to keep the peace. One day, she sat her partner down and told him the truth. She wasn't happy. She didn't know if they could fix things, but she knew she couldn't keep pretending everything was okay. That conversation was one of the hardest she'd ever had. It led to tears, arguments, and eventually the end of their relationship. But Sarah told me later that it was also the moment she felt most free. By being honest, she gave herself permission to live a life that was true to her heart. And in time, she found a love that didn't ask her to hide who she was. Honesty didn't just end a chapter for Sarah, it opened a new one where she could be herself without fear. This brings me to another aspect of honesty, being honest with ourselves. Sometimes, the hardest person to tell the truth to is the one staring back at us in the mirror. We all have dreams, fears, and truths we tuck away because they're too big, too scary, or too inconvenient to face. Maybe it's admitting that you're not happy in your job, or that you're struggling with your mental health, or that you need to make a change in your life. Self-honesty requires courage because it asks us to confront our vulnerabilities and take responsibility for our own paths. But it's also where transformation begins. When we're honest with ourselves, we give ourselves the chance to grow, to heal, and to live a life that feels authentic. I think about my own journey with self-honesty. For years, I told myself I was fine staying in a career that didn't light me up. It paid the bills, it was stable, and everyone told me I was lucky to have it. But deep down, I knew I wasn't where I was meant to be. Admitting that to myself was terrifying. It meant facing the unknown, taking risks, and possibly failing. But once I let that truth sink in, I couldn't ignore it anymore. I started taking small steps toward a path that felt more like me. It wasn't easy, and there were moments of doubt, but that honesty gave me clarity and purpose. It reminded me that the truth isn't just about what we say, it's about how we live. Honesty also has a ripple effect. When you choose to be truthful, you inspire others to do the same. Think about a time when someone's honesty touched your life. Maybe it was a friend who opened up about their struggles, making you feel less alone in yours. Or maybe it was a colleague who admitted they didn't have all the answers. creating space for collaboration and growth. When we're honest, we create a culture of openness and authenticity. We show others that it's okay to be imperfect, to make mistakes, to be human. This ripple effect is especially powerful in communities. Imagine a world where leaders are honest about their challenges, where neighbors share their true feelings, where friends and families speak from the heart. It's not a perfect world, but it's a kinder one, a more connected one. Honesty has the power to break down walls, to heal wounds, and to bring us closer together. It's the glue that holds relationships together and the spark that ignites change. Of course, honesty doesn't mean being brutal or unkind. There's a difference between telling the truth and wielding it like a weapon. Honesty should come from a place of compassion, with the intention to uplift, not to hurt. It's about finding the balance between being truthful and being kind. For example, if a friend asks for your opinion on something they've created, you don't have to say, "It's terrible." You can say, "I can see how much effort you put into this, and I think it could be even stronger with a few tweaks." Honesty doesn't mean tearing others down. It means helping them grow while staying true to your values. As I reflect on all of this, I keep coming back to my grandmother's words. Truth is a treasure. Those words have guided me through moments of doubt, fear, and uncertainty. They've reminded me that honesty is worth it, even when it's hard, even when it feels like the riskier choice. Because at the end of the day, honesty is about living with integrity. It's about looking in the mirror and knowing you're doing your best to be the person you want to be. It's about building relationships that are real, deep, and lasting. It's about creating a life that feels true to your heart. So, to anyone listening right now, I want to leave you with this. Choose honesty. Choose it in the small moments, like admitting when you're wrong or telling a friend how much they mean to you. Choose it in the big moments, like standing up for what you believe in or taking a leap toward a dream that scares you. Choose it with yourself by listening to that quiet voice inside that knows who you are and what you need. Honesty isn't always the easy road, but it's the one that leads to freedom, connection, and a life you can be proud of. Thank you for listening, for letting me share this with you. I hope these words spark something in you, a reminder, a nudge, a moment of clarity. Let's keep choosing truth together, one brave step at a time.